Welcome to Not Starving Artist, the podcast. I'm your host, Brooke Benson, money coach and equity actor. I am your financial cheerleader, here to help you build your financial confidence and have power over your money. The best part, no budgeting or bi-weekly paychecks required. I went from being a broke BFA grad having weekly panic attacks about money to a financially confident, wealth-building actor and business owner. Money gets to feel fun, simple, and sexy, and I am going to show you how. Before we dive into the episode, I am so excited to share with you that my brand new online course, Cashed Up Creatives, is officially out now. Now, this course is for my artists with neurospicy brains, my bi-weekly paycheck cuties who just don't want a budget, or anyone who wants to get out of that paycheck to paycheck cycle and finally experience financial wellness. This course is for you. It's gonna help you get 3 months ahead on bills. It's gonna help you pay off debt while you still take vacations. It's gonna help you manage your fluctuating or consistent income with ease. You're gonna be able to confidently talk to your parents or partner about your money decisions. You're gonna be able to open a retirement account and invest your first or next $500. You're always gonna have surplus in your bank account, and it's gonna teach you how to ditch your scarcity mindset so you can feel abundant with money. Now, this is a self-study course, meaning that when you make your one-time payment of $247, you have immediate access to the course content for life. And on top of lifetime access, the best part about what I'm sharing with you today is that for the rest of 2025, I am going to be hosting live monthly office hours for anyone who has joined the course. Totally for free, included with the price that you pay for the course itself. I, of course, recommend joining as soon as possible because the earlier you join, the more of those monthly office hours calls that you are going to get to attend. I cannot wait to see you inside and to help you get cashed up. Hi, everyone. What you are about to hear for the next 10 weeks on the podcast is replays of the Instagram live series I did at the beginning of this year called Money Affirmations series. How to actually make more money in 2025 with mantras and affirmations, with mindset work. Also, if you're hearing ambient noise in the background, it's because I'm in the Delta Sky Lounge because I wasn't able to record this before I left for my trip this week. So that's what you're hearing. And I'm excited to bring this to you all on the podcast. One, because now the Instagram live series is buried in the feed. And I know a lot of people have been like, wait, where can I find it? I can't figure out where those days are. Okay. It's here. It's now going to live in the podcast. I also know that it was so impactful for the people who did go through it at the beginning of this year, the amount that they were able to crack open into their actual money mindset blocks and then actually were able to make more money from this series, which is what I want for all of you. So if you have done it before, time to revisit. We are well into Q2, so it is time to revisit these affirmations. Go through it again and see what shifted for you from the first time you've done it. And if you haven't done it yet, great. Welcome to the party. Let's get you working on your mindset in a way that's actually going to benefit you tactically. We love when you feel better. We love when you feel more ease. We love when you feel more abundant in your headspace. But I want to make sure that this is actually translating then to your tactical action, to your actual bank accounts. Okay. That's what this series is. So for the next 10 weeks, you're going to get, it was a 10-day series when I did it on Instagram. So you'll get one day each week for the next 10 weeks, especially if you've been avoiding journaling or wanting to do mindset work, but not really sure, how to dive in. Do I do a prompt? Do I do a meditation? This is a great place to start. Let's dive deep. I'm going to be right there with you going through this affirmation series again as well. Let's enjoy and let's make more money in the rest of 2025. Hello, everyone. Welcome to day 2 of Money Affirmations that actually work. I'm doing a little smoke cleansing this morning. Some funky energy in this house yesterday, so we're clearing it before we start getting vibey with today's money affirmation. So like we did yesterday and like we will continue to do over the course of the next 9 days is we're going to choose one of the 10 affirmations that I have listed and written down here. So if you're here live and you want to choose the number of affirmations, drop a number 1 through 10. We've already done 9. Here are our 10 affirmations. We're going to choose one today, and we are going to dive deep into it. We are going to activate it in a way that actually makes it make you more money, bring in more money into your life. Because the thing about affirmations is, and we talked about this yesterday, affirmations only work when you feel something about them, okay? So if you don't feel anything about them, it's like getting on stage and doing a play, but you're just reading the lines from a script and you feel nothing, you're not connected, you've done no work on them, you've done none of your backstory on them, nobody will pay to see that play. It's not going to feel anything and it's not going to do anything to the people that are watching. So what you need to do is you need to activate these, right? You need to take the affirmation, feel some stuff about it, journal about it, and I have some tools and tips that we're going to talk about with each specific example of an affirmation to help you like ground it and make it real, okay? So if you're here live, drop a number 1 through 10. Let's choose our affirmation, okay? As my, wow, I really lit that, my sage, I lit it for a very long time, so it's very smoky today. Okay, we are going to go with number 6. Making money is easy and enjoyable. I'm gonna read that again. Making money is easy and enjoyable. That is our affirmation for today. So as I say that, okay, we are going to dive into what that means for you. So to start, when I say making money is easy and enjoyable, what comes up for you? What happened in your body as we read that affirmation together? What happened in your brain? Yesterday, when we read our first affirmation, which was, to remind everyone, I release all resistance to attracting money. When we read that one, for me, what happened is my brain started going. It started like giving me questions. It was very heady. But then we used one of the principles, which is the what if principle, which I'll talk about again today. We used the what if principle on that affirmation, and all of a sudden it dropped into my body. I started to feel glittery. I started to feel excited. New things were coming up. So the first thing as I read this affirmation, making money is easy and enjoyable, what happened for you? So for me, what that affirmation does for me is it makes me feel expansive, okay? So I actually did a lot of work around a version of this affirmation a few years ago when I was just starting my business. Because what I realized was I had a limiting belief around making money being inaccessible for someone like me, who was an artist and who was a freelancer, who felt like every single time I got an acting job, I was having to fight to even get paid baseline, right? I was having to fight for my money. All of the ways I was earning money felt difficult or felt like they took a lot of energy expenditure. So I was a nanny for a while. And while I loved nannying, like I really enjoy hanging out with kids, being around kids, I am not built to be a nanny. My energy at the end of each day was depleted. I had no other energy for anything. Same when I was teaching online, like I was having to wake up at 4 a.m. in the morning. I was having to like try and get more students, more like parents to see my stuff, and all of that work and energy. It just felt like so much, right? And then with the acting stuff, it was enjoyable, but the process of getting it, the process of negotiations and contracts, especially when I was unrepresented, it just felt like everything around money made it hard and made it unenjoyable. So what I'm saying, like when I read this affirmation, making money is easy and enjoyable, that feels real to me now. To me, right? I don't have much resistance to that right now because I did a lot of work on it previously. So what I want to know for those of you who are here live, I want you to drop what came up for you as I read that. I feel like this is one of like if you are going to choose one affirmation for the entire month to dive into and really get to the root of where your resistance is around it, this is the one. Making money is easy and enjoyable. So let me go on a rant here for a second. We've been conditioned to feel like making money is so fucking hard. And like, let me go meta for a second and make a very clear distinction between like societal issues, big picture issues from the top down that our society has like categorically made it difficult to make money, has made it difficult for people who are not in the 1% to move up, okay? So like, if we take that as the fact, right? Let's not try and argue that fact, but then I want you to go into your own personal experience, into your own body, your own personal life, and decide that it gets to be different for you. Decide that you are going to create the cheat codes for your life in this fucking monopoly game we are living inside of, especially here in the United States, and decide that you're going to figure out how to make money easy and enjoyable for you so that you, like, a rising tide lifts all boats, right? That's what the quote is. So when you lift yourself financially, everyone else around you also gets lifted financially. So believing this affirmation, right, and really ingraining this into your body and making this your reality is not just for you. It also, if you hear that beeping, that is my smoke alarm that is has a low battery, and I kept it on as a forcing function because the battery is down in my mailbox and I don't want to forget to change the battery. So that's what you're hearing. So I apologize if that's annoying anyone as much as it's annoying me, but it's a forcing function because I will forget. So this believing this affirmation, if it helps you to make it about more than just yourself, I think a lot of us who have like big hearts and care so much for people in our community and our society at large, it can feel selfish to say making money for me is easy and enjoyable. So what I want you to flip it on its head a little bit and say when money is easy and enjoyable for me, that makes money easy and enjoyable for others. When money is easy and enjoyable for me, that means I get to make more money to then support my community and people around me. If you need to add something on there in order to make that feel like something you want to believe, feel free to do so. So this is one of the tools when it comes to affirmations. If something feels like you're resisting it, or it's not hitting, or you're feeling like a dissonance from it, one of the tools you can do is you can change the wording of it to make it hit different. So if a version of what I just said hit differently, tell me in the chat, tell me, or if you're playing around with how you would rephrase this one for you. Again, our affirmation today is number 6, making money is easy and enjoyable. So if that hit you in a certain way, or if you are starting to rephrase it, drop it in the chat. Let's talk about it. So that's one of the tools, rephrasing to make it something that you actually do want to believe. So the other thing, and we talked about this yesterday, journaling on this affirmation, okay? So if you believe that making money is enjoyable, but you don't believe that making money is easy, write a journal prompt to yourself and say, why does money feel hard? Or why doesn't money feel easy? And you don't actually have to physically do the journaling. You can, but you can also ask yourself this question and take yourself on a walk and think. Ask yourself the question and decide you're going to have the answer for it by the end of your 30-minute walk, okay? So why does money feel hard? Probably the things that will come up for you is experiences in your past where making money has been hard, or making money hasn't been enjoyable. So I'll give an example of my partner actually. All of the ways he was making money before he has the job he currently has now, he used to run a cleaning business on his own. So he was going into people's houses. He was driving 40 minutes, a 40-minute commute a lot of days to these people's houses, literally on his hands and knees, scrubbing the grime off of their floors, right? And that's how he made money. And he was making good money doing this business, but it was extremely taxing on his body, right? He literally was developing knee problems because of this. After that, he worked at a coffee roaster, and he was physically doing coffee, pouring beans. I don't really understand what they do at a roaster, but he was doing a lot of physical labor where he was actually having a hurt back, and he was having to wake up super early and do all of those things. And so for him, he had the story that making money is so hard, but the money he was making was just getting him to baseline. So he was like, I cannot fathom making more money than I am right now because I can't fathom working harder than I am right now. So when we moved out of Florida and then ended up making our way to New York, that was one of the big shifts that he had to make in his own money mindset, is that I can make more money and it can be easier to make more money. Making money is easy and enjoyable. For those of you who just joined, that is our affirmation of the day. Making money is easy and enjoyable. Okay. So the job he has now, it's not necessarily easy day to day, but it's easier physically, right? He is in an office. He's a workplace experience specialist. So he's got a lot of admin tech stuff that he does behind the scenes. He's doing happy hours, events. He's that kind of person in the office. And some days he's wait, this feels so much easier than the jobs that he had before. But he, quadrupled tripled or quadrupled his income. He's making almost 6 figures now in this job that he has. So now he has the physical evidence to back up that that is true. But before that evidence, that physical evidence came into his life, he had to believe that making more money could be easy and enjoyable. So this is where the what if principle that I want to give you again today comes into play. So the what if principle for an affirmation, if it doesn't feel true, like if your brain starts to argue with it, the what if principle is putting what if right in front of the affirmation to turn it into a question. What if money could be easy and enjoyable? Interesting. Now we're leading with curiosity. So the other thing I want to say here, this is another thing I wanted to note. When you're playing with affirmations, you want to acknowledge that anytime you say a statement that you don't fully wholeheartedly believe, your brain is going to treat it like it's on debate team, okay? So it is going to try and find the facts and figures for why it is true or why it isn't true, okay? So what the what if principle does is it pulls you out of debate team energy. It pulls you into a question, a curiosity, right? What if making money could be easy and enjoyable? Journal on that. Okay, so that's how you journal on an affirmation. Turn it into a question, or you can clock what parts of the affirmation feel like there's resistance, and then journal on that or meditate on it, okay? So when you're adding that what if principle in, now you've given yourself something to get curious about. So this is homework for all of you. What if making money could be easy and enjoyable? And it's interesting that even as I'm talking this out loud, my brain keeps wanting to say, what if money could be easy and enjoyable? Not just making money could be easy and enjoyable. So even as I'm talking this out, the fact that my brain keeps wanting to go to that phrasing versus what the actual phrasing is, which is making money is easy and enjoyable, that's data for me, right? Like that's feelings and mindset data. So I might sit in my journal and be like, why is that what my brain wants this affirmation to be? Is it because I'm resisting a part of making money is easy and enjoyable? Is it because I feel like I've mastered that one, but money in general, there's something resisting there and like I want to dive into that more? I don't know. I'm gonna have to sit in my journal. I'm not gonna be able to suss that out, right? Like while I'm talking on a live, but that's what I mean by like going deep with an affirmation rather than trying to have a million affirmations that you're trying to like embody all at one time. Diving into one affirmation for an entire day, even an entire week, an entire month, you could journal on the same affirmation for ages and continue to come up with new things that are going to help you act and think differently, okay? I can't remember if someone's here and remembers where this tangent took me before. I was like, ooh, that's interesting how my brain started to rephrase it. Let me know where I left off because I think I had a train of thought that has now left me. Oh, debate team, okay? You want to pull your brain out of debate team energy. So when I say making money is easy and enjoyable, most of you probably had a reaction of that's true or that is not true, right? You defaulted to a side of the table, to a side of the debate. And now whatever, even if you're like 51% on the side of that isn't true, now your brain is going to start collecting evidence to back up that thought. So even though you only believe one way 51%, your brain's function is to back things up with evidence and categorize it, right? Like put it in its box, put it in its drawer, true, untrue. Here's all the reasons why, because we cataloged all this evidence. So watch that your brain did that. So if your brain said that is not true and then started giving you example after example after example of when it was unenjoyable, when it was hard, when it was difficult, when you're on LinkedIn and you see all the bullshit jobs that you don't want to take, right? Like it's cataloging that and it's bringing all of that to the surface. And if we're unaware of that, if that's just like running in the background, what's going to be happening is that just becomes a fully ingrained belief, right? Where you're like, of course I can't make more money because I'm already working so hard. And I believe that making money is hard and not enjoyable. And I want to have more enjoyment in my life. So I'm not going to actively look for ways to increase my income and make more money because I don't want to work harder than I already am because I'm already burning out. right? And so then what happens is you're not looking for the opportunities to make more money, to have more money, to bring in more money that are easy and enjoyable. Or your brain says, right, it's hard and less enjoyable, but like, okay, I want more money, so I'm going to make it happen. So then what you start doing is you start looking for like the normal paths of how to make money that aren't super easy or enjoyable, okay? So you're not looking for the side streets, the side quests, the random things that you could maybe even create for yourself that make making money easy and enjoyable. So this is why when we're talking about affirmations and mindset work, it is not just to like feel better in our brain space. It's so you actually start moving differently, right? You literally start taking action differently in your day-to-day life. So if you are journaling on, right, we use the what if principle and we say, what if making money was easy and enjoyable? What would an easy and enjoyable way to make money look like? What would be my dream scenario? So for example, for me, when I was, before I had even started my business, right? I had started my Instagram account, but it wasn't like a full-on business yet, right? I still needed income from other sources. I actually didn't think that my business would ever become my full-time income. That was never like the goal at the beginning. That was not a thing, right? I was just following breadcrumbs of joy during the pandemic to pull myself out of the dark black hole that so many of us were in. So as I was looking for ways to make money, I'm an actor as well. So I was like, okay, my dream scenario is yes, to make money acting, but because I don't want to put pressure on my artistry and I still want that to feel fun, I want to take pressure off of my acting career to make money. And I don't, at that point, I was like, I don't want to do commercials. Like I only want to do like stage theater. I was very like focused in on one avenue of making money acting. I've definitely widened that now that I'm here in the city, and I filmed my second commercial since I've been here in the city over the holidays. And it was really fun. Like I'm really enjoying doing commercial work. So that shifted for me. But at the time, I wanted to take the financial burden off of my like stage acting. So what I was thinking about is, what is the dream scenario for me to make a full-time income and support myself in a way where money feels easy and enjoyable to make? So I wrote my dream job description. I literally wrote it out. I did not know that it existed. Every time that thing beeps, I should have thought about this. That's my fire alarm and it's running low on battery. Right after this, I'm going down to get that battery to switch it out. So I wrote my dream job description. I didn't know that this job existed, but I was like, what is my ideal scenario? I knew that I wanted flexibility and freedom to audition and take contracts. And if a theater contract came my way, I wanted to be able to do it, right? And I wanted to work for a company that didn't suck my soul. I was like, I really only want to be interacting with women at this point in my life. So I want a female-run company. I also don't want a ton of, even if it's remote, because I wanted a remote job. If it's remote, I also don't want a bunch of calls on my calendar. I want to have like time freedom. And I want it to be focused on me getting my work done rather than like clocking in and clocking out in hours. And I want it to fully pay my bills, right? So that was my dream job description. And I wrote like some of my skill sets and the things that I knew that wouldn't take a lot of creative energy from me, because I needed my creative energy for my artistic career. I now know that I don't need a job that doesn't require artistic energy to still have artistic energy for my acting life. But at the time, that's what I wanted. I was like, I want admin, I want clerical work, I want stuff that I can just like do really well and kind of do it in my sleep. That is also in my like zone of genius. So I wrote this job description, right? And I had that posted on a piece of paper. And then as I was looking for jobs, it was so easy for me to rule so much out, because I was like, this is not in alignment. This is not in alignment. This is not what I want. This does not pay enough. Oh, and I also put my pay rate. I was like $25 to $30 an hour. That was my minimum. Because I was like, I know that a full-time job at the minimum wage that was in Florida at the time, that was not going to cut it. So I was like, I'm not even going to look at minimum wage jobs. So do you see how me getting like manifesty and energetic and working on my mindset about what I actually wanted when it comes to making money easy and enjoyable had me physically moving different? So I actually wasted zero energy or time in my day applying for minimum wage jobs that I knew would not support me financially, jobs that I knew would suck my soul, jobs that were not remote, jobs that wouldn't give me the freedom and flexibility that I needed for my acting career. So all of my energy went toward the fuck yeses, which ended up being like 7, I think, in total over the course of like 5 months, I think. So like I got an interview with Quip. So what ended up happening was I had so much creative energy to apply for the jobs I really cared about and were excited about. And I put a lot of creative energy into how I was applying for them. So I love telling this story. So I got an interview with Quip as like their director of marketing or something, a job that I should not have gotten called in for. But I decided to do an Instagram story series that was my resume. Like it was some sort of creative direction, social media, I don't remember. But I like crafted this story series to show my capability on Instagram. It was my resume. It showed that I knew who they were. And I posted it to my close friends and I added them as a close friend and tagged them in every story. So no one else saw it on my profile, just them, and they were added to my close friends so they could see, like it would pop up different. I would be a green circle. That got me an interview with Quip. I did not end up getting the job, right? Like I'm not saying I'm like not qualified to do something like that, but that is not, someone else needed to get that job. But I'm highlighting the fact that because I was so clear on the kind of jobs I wanted and the things that were excited to me, then I was able to use my creative energy to actually move the needle. So I wasn't going wide, I was going deep, right? Sure, applying to jobs is a numbers game, but also there's creative energy that's needed to even get seen, right? And this was just a LinkedIn job posting. So Quip was one of them, but then there was a couple of other business owners that were looking for virtual assistants. So I think, again, I did a total of like 6 or 7 cover letters and interviews and like second round interviews. And I ended up by the end of the year, within 5 months, getting this exact job description that I had written down on that piece of paper. I was working for a female-founded 7-figure business owner as her virtual assistant. I started out making $25 or $30 an hour. It might have been $30 an hour. I had 1 call on my calendar every 2 weeks to check in with them. I was total time freedom. It was remote and it fully paid my bills. Okay. And then I got promoted to a director of operations with her, but the same exact kind of setup. But that happened, that promotion came with a bump in pay. So I was making then $40 an hour. And that was exactly when I was moving to Denver and my expenses were going to increase. And it still fully paid for all of my expenses. Okay. And this was as I was growing my business. So me deciding that making money is easy and enjoyable, which for those of you who have just joined, that's our affirmation today. Number 6, making money is easy and enjoyable. When I decided that making money could be easy and enjoyable for me, my physical actions changed because I had done some journaling work on what would that actually look like for me in my life. And then I could repeat it right in my brain, right? In like a repetition way as I'm walking around, I'm like, making money is easy and enjoyable. Making money is easy and enjoyable. But I journaled on it and made it deep so that it actually felt like something to me. And then it changed how I moved about the world, which then actually manifested in the tactical, practical, physical realm of making money becoming easy and enjoyable for me. So then that learning is now ingrained in my body. There's new levels of learning this, right? Like I definitely have an income cap here of how much money I believe is easy and enjoyable to make. So that might be what I journal about this week because I'm doing this work this week, just like you all are, okay? So I'm diving in my own journal of like, ooh, this is the affirmation we talked about today. What came up as I was doing the live? Where do I need to do more work? So for me, I think there's an income cap. I think that if I were to sit with it right now, up to, I'd say like 150K revenue in my business feels easy and enjoyable to make. I have a cap. Going above that starts to feel hard. And that's interesting as we're talking about it right now. So I want to do some work on why does anything above $150,000 in revenue per year feel hard and unenjoyable to make. Now, one of the first things that's coming up for me, and listen to how I'm doing this, because this is what I want you all to be doing in your journal about this affirmation. This past year, there was a lot of legal stuff that I had to navigate with my business now being over 6 figures. I'm profiting over a certain amount. That means that I should become an S corporation, right? Which will help me save on taxes. Now, there was a lot of paperwork that I had to fill out. There was a lot of stuff I had to do with my LLC 2 years ago. In New York, you have to get articles published in newspapers. It's so archaic. That is the kind of shit that I hate to do. And there was a lot of confusion. So there was a miscommunication between me and my CPA this year about something I needed that they didn't tell me that I needed for this year. So there was a lot of stuff that had to get done kind of in a rush near the end of the year. And then unemployment taxes and having to opt out of certain things, just all of that stuff makes me, I hate it so much. I just want to coach and make money and act. That's what I want to do in my life. I want to be here on live with you, and I want to coach you one-on-one, and I want to act, and I want to make money, and then I want to travel and live my life. So having to sit and fill out paperwork like that legally, when your business gets to a certain point, that kind of stuff becomes a requirement. So as we're talking this through, I'm like, ooh, that's where my resistance is. So I feel like it was fun and easy and enjoyable to make money up until I hit a threshold, and then it started to feel hard, and I started to have to do things that were not enjoyable. So here's what I'm about to journal about later today. I'm about to journal listing out exactly the things that felt hard. Are they actually connected to a certain income benchmark? How can I make those things that feel hard and unenjoyable? Can I infuse them with 20% more enjoyment? Were there things that I could do differently that would allow those things to be less hard moving forward? Is there someone else I can hire to help make this feel easy and enjoyable? So there's a lot of things that I can dive into here about having a limit on how much money actually feels easy and enjoyable. With the example I gave about my partner earlier, right? He hit a limit where he was like, this is the max amount of hard and unenjoyment I'm willing to go through in order to make X amount of money. And he had to break through that barrier in order to get to where he is today. I have so many clients who have had to do this exact same thing, is well, here's why I don't want to start a business, or why I don't want to transition or even apply to this higher paying role, because I already don't have work-life balance. So if I apply to this thing, if I'm making more money, I'm going to have to work so much more hours. And my value is spending time with my kids, and I don't want to give that up. And so acknowledging that and journaling on that. I actually had a client, we worked together. This was during 2 years ago, I think, is when we were having this conversation, where she realized she had the belief that more money equals more problems, right? And we've heard that phrasing before, that cliche, more money, more problems. But for her, it truly felt like a real belief for her, because she had some experiences in her past, especially when she was in a relationship where there was a lot of sticky financial stuff. Her making more meant more money was being taken from her. So she had real life evidence that said that was true. Okay, so we're not discounting that was literally her reality, that making more money meant more problems, that she did not want to make even more money because it would mean more hard, more hurt, right? Because that was her lived experience. But she knew she had to create evidence for the other side of the table. Okay, so when we're talking about that debate team energy, your brain will default to one side of the table on debate team. You can choose to move yourself to the other side of the debate team table. I don't know about y'all, but when I was in high school and we had to do mock debate, we did not get to choose the side that we debated. We were given a side to debate, and we had to go and get evidence for something you might fundamentally not believe, right? And you had to go argue it in order to get a good grade. Put yourself back in high school debate team and choose to go find evidence for other reasons, for the other side of the table. So one of the things she did was she collected evidence for how money in the future, like making money easy and enjoyable will actually make her life better, will actually eliminate problems for her. So she went into the future to pull evidence of why she wanted to believe this new thought, that making more money is easy and enjoyable, that more money does not equal more problems. And she's making a fuck ton more money now, right? So that is what I want you all to do, right? If you find yourself falling to that side of again, for those of you who have joined recently, our affirmation today, making money is easy and enjoyable. If you find yourself resisting that or saying that's not true, your job is to go into your journal, go into your brain, go into your past, go into your body, and find evidence for why that is true. Can you find even small little nuggets of why that is true, right? Get a little delusional with this, right? It's okay to get, what's the thing that's going around right now? It's like, it's only delusional until it works, right? So that's what fucking affirmations are. That's what every single one of these affirmations is. Let me read the two from the past 2 days. Making money is easy and enjoyable. I release all resistance to attracting money. When you're doing affirmations, it's because they don't feel real yet. So of course you're going to feel resistance to them, right? So you have to do the work to make yourself feel less resistance so that they actually become true. So again, not just that they feel true in your brain and in your own like meditative bubble when you're listening to your high vibe music and you're like, making money is easy and enjoyable, making money is easy and enjoyable. I'm so glad you feel so good when you're doing that. But being able to carry that through your day to day when your boss at your side job that you want to quit is like giving you some bullshit about how I had a client who they got mad at what she was wearing to be a hostess at a restaurant job, even though she looked fine. Her boss just like needed someone to piss on during a shift because she was mad at someone above her, whatever. When something like that happens, can you still believe making money is easy and enjoyable? When shit gets hard, do you still have the belief of this affirmation work that you've been doing? So this is why you have to go deep into each and every affirmation, because when you're reciting a list of 50 affirmations that's going to make you more money, and you're going through and you're looking in the mirror and you're reciting them, when something like that happens, when you have a hard day, when someone throws some bullshit at you, when life throws some bullshit at you, when you get hit with an overdraft charge that you weren't expecting, right? Which is why you should get out of Bank of America and move to an online bank that doesn't charge you overdraft fees. But if you get hit with an overdraft fee on a day where you're like, I always have more than enough, right? And then you get hit with that fee, your brain's going to be like, you do not have more than enough. I'm at hard ass evidence right there. Inarguable fact. You have to feel so strongly in, no, I do always have more than enough. I'm going to find new evidence. Look, I'm able to pull $40 from this savings account into my checking account to make it more than enough to return that overdraft fee. I'm going to chat with the customer service representative and be like, oops, this was a mistake. I was moving things around. Because I've been a loyal customer, can you refund this fee? They refunded it. Wow, look, I always have more than enough because everyone in financial services loves to help me, right? Maybe that's a new affirmation you want to play. You have to actually go out and find the evidence to make it true when the shit gets hard, okay? Going deep in each of these affirmations is going to make them continue to feel true, even when there is evidence that is contrary to that belief. Because at the end of the day, you could find evidence to back up anything. And this is where my brain goes to all of the shit that we're seeing on social media with the election, with like what is happening in America right now. Truth, the ultimate truth has gotten real murky, okay? And you can find evidence and reasons to believe anything and everything. You could cherry pick any and every bit of evidence to believe anything you want to. Okay, so let's use that to your advantage. Let's use that for you to make more money so that your big heart can use that money for good things in the world, to give it to good people, to help support good causes, right? Like we said at the beginning, can you switch around? Like if you're resisting these affirmations because it feels selfish for you, one, journal on that. 2, can you switch around the wording so that it's bigger than you, right? If that's more motivating to you, right? A rising tide lifts all boats. Can you believe that? Can that be one of your affirmations? As you're wanting to focus on your money this year, can you continue to repeat that to yourself? Or some version of that, right? Like play around. Affirmations don't have to be set in stone. Like the whole point of affirmations is that they feel new in your body and have you acting different, okay? So again, as we close out today, our affirmation is making money is easy and enjoyable. Okay. So go play with that one today. I will see you tomorrow at 9 a.m. Eastern time for day 3 of money affirmations that actually work. We're going to do a different money affirmation. I will see you all there. Have a fantastic Tuesday. Bye, y'all. Thanks so much for tuning in. Come join me on Instagram for more on how to build a simple, sexy relationship with your money. My Instagram handle is @NotStarvingArtists. And if you want to dive deeper with me, head to the show notes to learn more about one-on-one coaching. If you love this episode, subscribe, leave a review, and share it with a friend that you want to get rich with.